Hey, this is Adam Nackers. Welcome to the course, How to Get 3 New Clients for Your Freelance Business This Week. Well, in this video, before we dive into the actual method, I want to cover 3 keys to being a client magnet. And really, these are 3 things you should focus on to not only attract clients, but attract the right type of clients with the method that I'm going to be teaching you, okay? So let's just dive right in. Okay, so the 3 keys to being a client magnet, I'll just cover them, give you an overview here quick, and then we'll go in depth on each one. Okay, number 1, you're going to want to stand out. I'm going to talk about what that means in a minute, but let me just tell you that, when you're somebody who's a consultant, you're a marketing consultant, a technical consultant, whatever it is, these are crowded marketplaces, okay? So you're going to want to do some specific things to stand out that I'm going to talk about. Don't ever appear desperate. And I'm going to, again, give you some ways in which, first of all, I see people, doing this where they appear desperate, and then, what you should do to not appear desperate. So you start attracting people as opposed to repelling them. And lastly, always over-deliver, okay? So let's just dive in. Number 1, for standing out, the real question to ask here is, what is your niche or specialty? Okay, oftentimes when people are, getting started as a marketer or consultant or whatever niche they're in, is they're trying to be kind of a jack of all trades, or they're just not branding themselves in a way that really stands out and speaks to a specific niche. Okay, so basically the bottom line here is just don't be too broad with your niche. Some examples, and this is what I see sometimes with the way people are branding themselves. You might be a social media consultant or a marketing consultant or a web designer. Now, years ago when social media first sprung onto the scene, I mean, if you were niched as a social media consultant when it was new, okay, that it may have worked, right, to stand out. But now, I mean, there's so many, social media really, in some ways can mean so many different things. There's so many different platforms. So it's a much better idea to really focus in and specialize, okay? So like as an example, as opposed to just calling yourself a social media consultant or a marketing consultant or a technology consultant, a way to do that would be to think about yourself as like a Pinterest marketing specialist. Identify the platforms that you're going to focus on, master them, and then use that as a way to define your niche more clearly. Online lead generation. This is something so many people need. It goes way beyond just social media, right? How are you, maybe you help people actually attract their audience and build their email list. You could brand yourself as an online lead generation expert, or if you're, web design is another one like social media. That's very broad. Focus on a platform. What platform are you mastering, and then brand yourself that way as perhaps a Salesforce programmer. Salesforce is just it's like a CRM tool. Okay, so let's move on to the second thing, how not to appear desperate. One way is don't be available all the time. Now, with the method I'm going to teach you, basically what you're going to be doing is setting up profiles on these freelancing platforms. Okay, and what'll happen is I'm going to actually take you through the process of how I actually reach out and bid on projects. And then oftentimes what happens when I bid is people reach out to me, and one thing I'm always careful not to do is just make it appear that I'm always available and at the ready for them if they want to talk, right? I actually use an online scheduling app, and I really recommend this. It's a great way to sort of position yourself and posture yourself to your prospective clients. What it enables you to do, I use one called Schedule Once, is I can set up, basically you create an account with Schedule Once. They actually have a free account, and then you can set your availability in the app. Okay, so like I can schedule, segments of my day, Monday through Friday and the weekends if I want to, that I'm available, and I can specify the amount of time of each consultation. So then, like when I'm let's say I have a prospect who's reached back out to me, wants to start a conversation, I just let them know, I'm busy with clients and other things going on in my life. Click here to schedule a time with me. And I've found that this works really well because they'll instantly then look at you as being more credible and as somebody who's a legitimate business person. I'm telling you, in these marketplaces, these freelance platforms, there's a lot of people that go there and they're really desperate. And if you're that way, it'll come across, okay? And it's not attractive, right? I want to help you become a client magnet. Okay, the other thing is don't set your rate on the basement floor. Okay, even if you haven't gotten a client yet, I'm telling you, don't do this, because I'll just say it this way: desperate rate will attract desperate clients. And you want to work with not just everybody, but you want to work with good clients, right? And I will say that in the beginning, it is important to get that first client. At the same time, it can help you by not setting your rates too low and just blending in with everybody else that's just trying to do whatever it takes desperately to try to get a client, right? Perceived value is really important here, right? When people see that you're not on that bottom floor with your rate, they perceive you to have more value than the average, right? And that's really, that's really important in terms of attracting people, okay? And then the last thing is always over deliver, all right? And this is especially important when you're just starting out. The value of your customer or client, and I'll say like the value of your first customer or client especially, is not just what you get paid, okay? Obviously, we all need to get paid, right? So that's an important aspect to this, but really, a happy client or customer has unlimited value, okay? So when you over-deliver and you create a happy client, that can pay off in a lot of ways. Like on these platforms specifically, when you have a happy client, they're going to give you a review, which obviously is going to do you a lot of favors when it comes to getting more clients, right? And what's happened for me as I've used this method is I've built relationships with my clients who are then happy to refer me to other people. So my network has expanded very quickly from referrals I'm getting from these happy clients. And then another really, really important one is that when you create a happy customer, you actually have a story that you can tell to help market yourself even more and in different ways, right? So if you can get a case study or a testimonial from someone, that can serve as part of your portfolio and also be used in other marketing efforts you put out there, initiatives you take to attract people. Like I'll use case studies in marketing that I do as a way to market myself on other platforms. And as you guys immerse yourself more into this membership site and this training, I'm going to keep adding things. So I'm not just going to be teaching you this technique, but just understand that when you're getting started on these freelancing sites, it's really important that your initiative, your first initiative, should be to create a happy client. All right, that's going to serve you in all three of these ways. So to recap, number one, stand out. And basically what I mean by that is specialize. Figure out what your niche is, figure out what your specialties are, and really, focus not just on defining them, but mastering them, all right? That's a great way to stand out from the crowd. Don't appear desperate. Basically, don't always be busy, and don't set your rates too low, okay? Use an online scheduling app like Schedule Once, because that really presents a good posture to your clients. Always over-deliver. Focus on getting a testimonial, right? Create a happy customer, because then they'll refer more customers to you. So if you have any questions, the best thing you can do is just go into the Facebook group. Again, if you go to the top right of this membership site, you'll see a button that says join the free Facebook community. Go in there, join the community, start to participate in the conversation, ask your questions there. That way you're able to leverage a community of freelancers as well. And I look forward to seeing you in lesson 2.